I'm going to tell you the 10 best places you could potentially pick out to live in Delaware. My name is Zachary Faust. I've been doing this now, selling homes in Delaware, especially to someone looking to relocate into Delaware as a military Army veteran for now 8 years. Our team now selling well over 1,000 homes. I want to tell you the 10 places that people are flocking to. And at the end, number 8, I have actually culminated all the top areas that could be the best investments because they're going to increase in value over the next few years. And to keep up with what's going on in Delaware, home prices, and what's coming in the future, we have our Loft Report that we'll put in your hands every single month. Scan this QR code, go through and let us know where to send it. And this will get sent out to you every single month, up to date with what's happening now in the great state of Delaware. Let's get started. So rocking in at number 1, in no particular order, we're going to start with Fenwick Island, what some would say is our best place to potentially live. But again, this isn't in any order. Fenwick Island is our southernmost beach. If you look at a map, you'll see it. Down the Atlantic coast, we see Lewes, Cape Henlopen State Park, all the way down before you meet the Maryland line with Fenwick. Fenwick's home prices, though, can exceed upwards of $1 million plus for just a standard average home due to its ocean and or bay view, no matter pretty much where you're at, as well as a lifestyle fit for dreams. You have everything in or around you that you need. You have a community of like-minded individuals that are looking to simply enjoy their lifestyles, and food, family events, it's all there. Fenwick is a great place to live. Number 2, let's get into the northern side of Delaware. Let's go up to the west to Hockessin. Hockessin is a host to so many food and drink options. I would gum up the whole video trying to list all of them, but between that and the festivals and the high-class experience you can have just in the gym facilities and Whole Foods, Hockessin is a premier place to live in Delaware and one of the best places you can choose to live. Number 3 is the #1 growing city in the entire state throughout the years of 2023 and 2024. And frankly, it's not even close. It's Milford, located on the Kent and Sussex County line. It actually has a piece of both of these counties and hosting its own school district, Milford School District. We have a quickly growing river town that has easy access to everywhere else around it, as well as a growing community within it. I did mention for Hockessin, which is a median price point of around $450,000 to $500,000. Then in Milford, you're cutting about $100K off of that, where $350,000 to $400,000 could be the regular, and you're right next to a brand new medical facility that's been built just on Route 1 in Milford. And they'll be expanding their facilities for the next 7 years over their 21-acre property. Number 4 is the second fastest growing town in Delaware, and it's not because it's not growing. No, it's actually been probably number 1 all up until recently, where Milford took that spot for the last 12 years. The town is Middletown, and it's not a secret that it's a great place to live. For those commuting out to Philly or even getting over to Annapolis, 301, the highway that now connects people in and out of the Middletown area of Delaware, has made it a metropolis for those that want to commute out of Delaware while still getting the benefits of being in it. A town hosted in one of our premier school districts, Appoquinimink. Many young families flock to this area, both for having a job that may not be within Delaware or virtual, as well as getting the opportunity to get up home price, new construction in that $500 to $600K range for a spot that more than likely will see home prices increase over the following decade. And it was worth noting, I have here, that Middletown's actually the highest net worth by capita town in our entire state outside of retirement. So they have to actually be earning an annual income, whereas retirees, a lot of 401ks, a lot of savings accounts. Number 5 and number 6, I've combined them into one. And by the way, stick around again for number 10. I'm gonna get all of the best possible investment areas into one group. But for this one group, we have to mention an area that Delaware known for, all up and across the seaboard, is our beaches. More specifically, Rehoboth and Lewes. I put them together because you'll hear them used almost interchangeably outside of Delaware. It's only once you get within that you see that many people view these areas differently. Lewes, being the first area that you hit, does host areas like the Cape Henlopen State Park, which are beautiful, incredibly well kept and large state park, as well as shopping, downtown, and a beach. Whereas Rehoboth, you get into more shopping. You have a higher quantity of dining options, as well as the bigger boardwalk and more tourist-focused out-of-state boardwalk in the Rehoboth boardwalk. When you think out-of-staters coming for the Delaware beach, Rehoboth Beach is where a lot of people tend to gravitate toward. But for the shopping, for the energy, for the entertainment that you get, not just during the summer, let me be very clear, year-round for those that live in these areas, it has been a top-notch place to live, not just recently, but for the last many decades in Rehoboth and Lewes, coming in at 5 and 6. Both these towns being in the Cape School District, very highly ranked, and coming with a median price point of in around $628,000. Next, we move up into around the Colonial School District into Wilmington and Pike Creek. We're now back into northern Delaware, and we're in an area that a lot of people that will traipse over the Philadelphia line often love to be. Very easy to get into Jersey, very easy to get into Lebanon, Philadelphia areas, and people take advantage of that very regularly. We've mentioned in other videos and big mistakes people make moving to Delaware, which I'll put right here, that traffic can be a mistake that people don't think about when they're moving to Delaware. It's nothing crazy. We're not talking LAX. We're not talking leaving a Phillies game, okay? But we are talking about something worth noting if you're looking to live in, especially an area like Wilmington. But all that to be said, it's one of the premier areas because of everything around it. The community, the events, the festivities, the food, the things to do, the school districts, the people. It is a highly desirable area and becoming more and more so. It has a lot of momentum, and that momentum is largely built off its low supply of housing. When homes get listed in these areas, they sell, especially if they're priced right and look okay, because people want to be in this area. Homes are selling in 13 to 14 days as we sit in October of 2024, and it hasn't seen much shift since just a year and even 2 years ago, those numbers were even lower. Still getting in a deal, though, in my opinion, because the median price point puts you right between $425,000 to $450,000. I got to admit, number 9, I'm very biased toward, and number 10, again, the areas that are going to be the best investments for you long term. But number 8 is going to be something that you're not going to expect to hear. Due to its location between Route 1 and Route 13, due to its pricing, due to the nature and beauty around it, due to the school district, due to all of the culminating factors, how easy it is to get to all these other areas in around it as well, I'm putting on my list my secretive favorite town, Frederica. Go to the Frederica Pizza Pasta House if you have any doubt about what I am saying. I promise you, between the living situation, the price point you're going to get it for, and ultimately the quiet, nature-y filled areas. I say nature-y like that's a word, but outdoors would be the focus. Felton, which I'll talk about, that's my homegrown bias, number 9. Similar, but Frederica has a bit more lore to it with new communities being built, and even my favorite community right there in the heart of it, Riverview Estates. Homes in this area you can get for $300,000 to $340,000, which is very low considering what you're getting for these areas. Number 9, I already mentioned it. I'm biased. I grew up on Main Street right there in Felton, Delaware. My parents, my brother Ben, and myself, now 25 years on Main Street in Felton, Delaware. And I gotta tell you, it's an underrated place to live because, again, you're in that similar price range of about $300,000 to $350K, but you can get even deeper into a farm style, rural style lifestyle if that's what you're looking for. Plus, being right on Route 13 and having direct back-end access to Camden, Dover makes it very easy to commute in around this area. But number 10, I know we want to get into, what are the areas where I can make a bang for my buck? Where can I get in now knowing it's going to grow later? And I got 5 towns to list, so get ready for your notes. With areas like Milford, Rehoboth Beach, and even Wilmington and Hockessin being hot spots for Delaware, being places that people know about, Middletown being places people already know about, we are going to see, and already are starting to see, the effects of the secondary market near these hot markets. Let's call them the heat up zones, if we will. These are the areas that are in or around the hot spots that are going to see demand pick up purely due to the price points continuing to increase in that main area. Demand may be starting to plateau a bit, and people looking for options in or around those hot spots. Again, we're already seeing evidence of these happening in these areas, and there's still room on the bone to get in now so your investment can grow in the future. Number 1's Harrington. If you're in or around Milford, Felton, I've already told you those areas are growing. Frederica, those areas are growing. Harrington is probably the area where you can get the best bang for your buck as we sit right here, right now. Areas like Seaford might get thrown in that debate too. I love Harrington for getting in now, getting out later. Next is more niche-y. We're talking Fairfax, up north in the Wilmington area. This is a spot that's growing in a great school district and still kind of sub or in or around that 400K median range. You could still maybe slide in for the 300s, but Fairfax is an area that I would look into as a hot, growing warm zone. Being just south of Middletown, just north of Dover, it's getting sandwiched between demand, and it's already got demand, Smyrna. And then the last two are the spots that I think you could get the biggest return on investment while also having the ultimate lifestyle, because these areas are going to continue to increase. All of them, of course, but these areas specifically, lifestyle is paramount. So just outside of Lewes and Rehoboth, you're going to have Harbeson. You have Millsboro, you have Milton, and those areas are on the come up as well. But I'm going to put Harbeson as the area that could see the direct largest economic influence from these hot spots of the beaches being around them. And last, due to the same effect, but going down south toward Bethany, we're going with Oceanview. Oceanview, Dagsboro, Gunboro, these are spots that are going to start seeing the warming effect of being beside Bethany Beach. It's an area that's small in comparison to what it offers. There's less residential activity than you would think for an area of such high class, and that's just because there's not as many homes available. We're talking about a beach. We're talking about an area with a lot of water. We're talking about a spot that doesn't have as much room to grow if it wanted to. So that's an area, if you can get into it, get in, and if you can get to one of the warm zones around it, like an Oceanview, I highly suggest it. And all these areas fall into what we call zones. And if you're interested in those zones, we have a relocating video to Delaware that goes through the 5 zones of Delaware and which one might be right for you. And even living in Lewes, if that's specifically where you're looking to go. My name's Zachary Faust. Here's the number on the screen if you'd love to chat about moving here to the great state of Delaware. And I hope that you have a dandy Delaware day.